Football. Lindsey keeps it. Still on his feet, dives forward, and he pays the penalty. On the Big 12 yesterday, those of you who may have had a little too much turkey and had a little turkey hangover, how about Texas A&M? Congratulations to R.C. Slocum, who found it very difficult this year, was taking a lot of bad press, but boy, he's a good football coach, and they showed it. Mack Brown, disappointing loss. Of course, he will play Nebraska Saturday in San Antonio for the Big 12 championship game. As Frank Solich's squad just withstands a big charge by Gary Barnett's Colorado Buffaloes, who had a whale of a comeback yesterday. What a good football game. OSU just running the football straight ahead.
You know, both games were good games yesterday. Going back to that, but it shows you what type of players there are, what type of coaches, and the caliber of teams in the Big 12 this year. Ron Calcagney there, you know, looking frustrated as any coordinator would be. He certainly expected to score points today. The 7 points for Oklahoma State came on an interception.
Less than 200 yards total offense for the Oklahoma State Cowboys this afternoon, inside of 5 minutes. OSU just running the football.
You know, Ron, we talked at the beginning about the game plan for Oklahoma. They had to contain Lindsey, and they had to contain and control Richardson, and they certainly did. Now, Bob Simmons is going to go back to the drawing board for next year because he has Lindsey back. And a healthy Lindsey equates a very potent offensive unit here with Oklahoma State.
Very much so. You know, it's one of those what-if syndromes with Tony. He had so much confidence after spring ball this year. Lindsey's pass is going to be picked off, and OU's Mike Woods. Nothing but touchdown. .43 yards and a 2-game win streak by Oklahoma State is now history.
When it rains, it pours.
Boy. With 4:13 to go, Tim Duncan. The extra point is good. Woods with the interception for the touchdown. Just over 4 minutes left. The Sooners lead it 38-7.
Big-time communication. Watch Hal here. He's going to run down the field, but Lindsey's going to throw the ball to the outside, and Hal continues running down the field. Mike Woods, number 2, reads it perfectly, and it's throw and catch, but it's throw and catch to the wrong guy. Here you see a picture of Hal. He looks, he's going to go, I'm going to go deep, I'm going to go to the inside. But where's the football? The football's thrown in the flat to Mike Woods. What can you say if you're the head coach and those type of things happen? You got some young men out there trying to make plays, but not so fast.
Terrence Marshall enjoying the situation. You can see the Oklahoma defense, 4 sacks, 3 interceptions, and a fumble recovery. The kickoff is low. Nathan Howell takes a big hit. Ethan Howell as he crosses the 15 up to the 17-yard line.
Well, this is a great homecoming for the 1974-1975 National Championship team because, as we talked about, Bobby Stoops has come in here. He's embraced this community. Barry Schweitzer is back involved in the Oklahoma program big time, and so are a bunch of players that played here in the past. The Oklahoma family is pulling back together after a couple of down years.
He said he was just amazed by the OU tradition as B.J. Tiger, number 13, the sophomore out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, is checked into the lineup to run the quarterback spot for the Cowboys. He's had a lot of playing time this year as Tony Lindsey was injured. And they'll keep it on the ground, running straight ahead. Reggie White.
But you know, Ron, this, as you well know, because you did the radio here, this is a proud, proud program. This is one of the best football programs traditionally in the United States today. And it's just taken a step back the last couple of years. but Bobby Stoops was hired to get it going forward again.
Well, one thing he wanted to do is get discipline. He wanted consistency. Some of these guys have had 6 line coaches, a bunch of offensive and defensive coordinators. They just wanted to have some type of consistency.
Well, you know, the previous 5 years prior to this year, Oklahoma was 22-33-1, which was 10th in the Big 12 in that 5-year span if you took the records of all the teams. So Bobby Stoops knew when he took this job, he had a lot of pressure on him and he had a huge task in front of him. And so far, so good for Bobby Stoops and his staff. And he's not doing it alone.
No.
Mike Leach, Jonathan Hayes, Mark Mangino. He's got some excellent coaches on his staff.
Cowboys just going to run the football. Reggie White getting some playing time. The sophomore out of Liberty, Texas. And they just know that this season is over. And it has been a difficult one. Reggie White, leading rusher, 27 yards for the Cowboys. He's done it on only 5 carries. Tony Lindsay, 12 carries, -7 yards. Most of that coming from sack yardage, however. Sooners showing a blitz. Here they come. Tiger keeps it. Up to the 40. Still some running room. Gets outside, close to the 50. Before Rodney Rideau runs him out of bounds. And the man who has not had to brave any inclement weather this year, hasn't even had to use an overcoat, the best sideline reporter in all of college football, Eric Clemens. Eric?
I tell you what, pretty indicative of this season. Of course, we love getting up there all year in the crowds and showing you the students and the enthusiasm. But the danger, I mean, down on the field in Denver when tear gas is flowing, I'm going to be down here. All these fans expected to storm the field. Where are our superstars, Kevin Frazier, Kellen Winslow? Under protection somewhere else. I'm down here on the field. That's just indicative of this season, guys.
I think you're right.
Leave those guys alone.
Pass is almost intercepted, incomplete, intended for Howe. Of course, they show up at a game where it's 70 degrees and sunny, right? Final 2 minutes and 14 seconds. Second down and 10 for the Cowboys. Just about at midfield on their own 48-yard line. Bob Simmons right in the middle of recruiting. Most of the coaches were out and about last night for both schools.
And you know, for Bob Simmons and for Bob Stoops, it's not going to get any easier because this is a league that's already very good. And a year from now, it might be the best league in all of college football. It's got a lot of excellent head coaches. It's got a lot of quarterbacks coming back. And I think that's as important as anything, that you have your quarterbacks.
Yeah, I think this piece of string is going to keep 75,000 people off the field.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No chance.
He looks like the type that would say, go on.
And he's also by himself. Where's his help?
I hope your health care is paid up, buddy. Well, Tiger was sacked on the play by Darrell Bright, the junior out of Tulsa, Washington. Setting up a 3rd down and 13, and we have whistles on the field. And Oklahoma's called a timeout, probably because they didn't have enough people on the field. Well, Artie, you know, a lot of people talked about the Big 12 this year and Nebraska and Kansas State, but your thoughts on the conference?
My thought that the conference is a strong conference. I'm not sure it's the best conference, but I'm not sure you can say any conference is the best conference. It's arguably one of the top 2 or 3 in all of college football. I like the coaches. You've got some great head coaches. The Gary Barnetts, the Frankie Soliches, the Bill Snyders, the Mac Browns, the R.C. Slocums, the Bobby Stoops. There is some high-powered people that are coaching in this conference. The other thing, as I started to say before, there's a lot of quarterbacks coming back, and I love the defense that's being played in the Big 12 because they have set a standard around the country for great, great defense. Look at the records here in the Big 12 North. Nebraska's 10-1. Kansas State is 10-1. Colorado is 6-5 now. You look at the South. Texas is 9-3. A&M is 8-3. There are some excellent, excellent football teams in this conference, and there will be, again, excellent football teams next year.
OU comes with a blitz. The pass is almost picked off by Mike Woods. He's taken one to the house already against Bob Simmons' orange and white of the Cowboys. Almost had another.